Remakes, remakes, remakes. Boy, do companies nowadays just love making remakes. I mean, you got TV show remakes, video games, and of course, the main topic of today's video, movie remakes. And you can probably already guess what company I'm about to be talking about when it comes to making boring, uninspired, and lazy movie remakes. It's Disney. Of course it's Disney. Oh, a video about someone complaining about Disney? How original. But anyways, I think we can all agree that Disney is definitely the forefathers of live action remakes. You know, it definitely popularized the idea of making them, and now you got other companies doing them. But Disney has made so many of them. Too many where you're just thinking, what is the point of that? And if you have been up to date with the movies that are coming out this year, you've probably seen the Moana remake soon to be released. This movie came out 10 years ago. Remakes in general, especially live action remakes, are already an inferior concept to the original film. So like, why make it at all?
Money!
And why are people so excited to see them? I just don't understand. Like, there is no reason for live action Lilo and Stitch to be grossing over $1 billion worldwide. Guys, if we want better movies, we gotta do better. We cannot be spending our precious bucks on this trash. Especially when Lilo and Stitch came out like 20 something years ago. It's not that old. It doesn't need a remake. And this goes for a surprisingly good amount of live action remakes Disney has made. Like, a lot of these movies did not come out that long ago to where you need to make a remake of it. But the two movies that I really want to talk about today are the live action Lion King that came out a couple years ago, and of course the Moana movie coming out soon. In my opinion, the fact that these type of movies are even being made kind of discredits the original movie, especially a live action remake. If you're gonna remake a movie, do it in the original art style the old film was in. Like, keep a 2D movie and just modernize the art style. Don't just change it to whatever this shit is. And the biggest example I could think of a live action movie disgracing the original 2D film is the Lion King one. The original Lion King is an artistic masterpiece on all levels. All the way from the music, the 2D cinematography, and even the voice acting. This movie is just perfect, in my humble opinion, of course. It's just a very timeless movie that will practically hold up forever, and a very iconic and beautiful art design. You could tell they really cared when making this. I mean, just look at the sky. It's beautiful. I could cry just by looking at it. Now compare that beautiful, raw emotion to this poop. It literally just looks like some boring ass CGI nature documentary. Like, who is this dude? No. This is not Simba. I get it, you know, for a live action movie, you want it to look more realistic, but they could have done something to give it more personality, I guess. But even then, why make this film if it's gonna be worse than the original?
Money!
Like, who truly asked for this? Like, it is just so devoid of anything that makes a film a Disney film, you know? Like, this is literally just a baby lion. This is just a bird. You wouldn't be able to tell what movie this is from. You can take any shot from the original Lion King and you can look at it, be like, yeah, that's from the Lion King. It's just a very special and unique art design. Now take any shot from the live action remake, and if you haven't seen this movie, you'll probably think it's some random AI. Like I was saying, the original movie was a masterpiece. So why put yourself through a watered down version of it? People eat these live action movies up all the time, even though everybody knows that the remakes Disney puts out are just worse films. And it becomes especially apparent when you watch the two movies and compare them back to back. Like, the difference is clear. The original movie always wipes the floor. So yes, The Lion King did not need a remake.
Wow.
Now, earlier I was saying that I don't know why people watch these movies, but that's not entirely true. I do know the reason, and the biggest reason is nostalgia, obviously. But with that being said, who is really having that much nostalgia for Moana? This Moana remake just feels like one of the most unnecessary movies ever being made. Yes, I'm even talking more unnecessary than Fred Part 2, Night of the Living Fred. 10 whole years apart this film is from the original one. What are we doing? They aren't even letting it marinate. The Moana movie is not even close to being outdated. A lot of the ones that are remade aren't, but this one is just extra crazy to me because it's just so recent. Moana still looks great, and I know the live action remake ain't out yet, but let's be real, this movie is not going to look nearly as good or be nearly as good as the original film. So why is it being made?
Money!
It's just going to be as soulless and forgettable as the other ones that came out, and people are still going to tap in. It just seems like out of the sea of cash grab live action Disney films, this is the biggest one. And again, what is the obsession with live action films? They never look as good as the animated ones. The lighting is always off, and it just doesn't give that fantasy vibe that it's supposed to. I just don't see the mass appeal of these. I guess it is cool to see the stories you like brought to life, but like, I am not paying for this. Especially when you got the original one right there. With all that being said, let's briefly talk about when Disney should actually make a remake. In this world, there is usually a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
And this remains true for remakes. Yes, even live action ones, I guess. Anyways, I think there's only one true reason on when you should ever make a remake, and that's when the original movie is just extremely old, outdated, because then you can improve on it, modernize it, and show it to a new audience. And you might be sitting there telling yourself, well, yeah, that's basically what Disney's doing with a lot of the remakes. One, I'm talking about like old movies. Like movies that were released 50 years plus. And two, a lot of the older movies that Disney has made live action and remade are buns. Besides the Jungle Book one, that one was actually pretty cool. But besides that, a lot of these movies are just obvious total cash grabs, like we all know it. And like I was kind of saying earlier, it's cool to get a new perspective on a story you like, but if that perspective is trash, I don't want it. Me personally. Okay, so do I think remakes are totally unnecessary and rarely should ever be made? Yes, I do. I mean, just look at what's out now. It's all booty juice trash. Even the How to Train Your Dragon one from DreamWorks isn't as good as the original. It doesn't look as good. It doesn't, it doesn't train my dragon. And just to be clear, I am not talking about reboots. I'm strictly talking about remakes, And just a couple more things. There is a reason these movies were animated. They don't work as good live action. And the only remakes that were ever good were the Halo remakes. So with all that being said, I think this is a good place to wrap up the video. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. I don't want a job. I really don't. I came back from a brutal shift. And yeah, next video is going to be about I Know What You Did Last Summer. So stay tuned for that. And I'll catch y'all in the next video. Poppy Bluebird out that booth. Peace.